Good morning. I am so glad to be in a conference room with real people and you all dressed appropriately and you're not in pajamas. So that's we're already ahead of the game here. I'm here to talk to you a little bit today about, first of all, AVMS. We are an on-site audiovisual company. We service about 150 hotels and luxury resorts across the United States. And we also have a staging and production division that will come and follow our clients internationally as well. And so I get asked a lot through the process by our hoteliers as well as our customers. You know, what are you seeing as far as trends when it comes to meetings? First of all, I will go over a little bit of the data for everybody so that you'll kind of get some numbers and some trends from hotel management and some of the information that we've got out there that will help you forecast and say, what am I going to do when I'm starting to plan for meetings? I'll also give you a few recommendations as far as those hybrid meetings, those live events, and a little bit of the virtual as well. So we're going to start off with the data. So this chart was actually put out by hotel management. I don't know if everybody subscribes to the online newsletter, but they came out and worked with a company called Noland. And Noland will give you a little bit of data about the industry in general. They do a lot of research. So we're going to start off with how are meetings going to recover here? So they're predicting that 2022, and I will caveat all of these numbers with who knows what will happen. You know, I don't have my magic 8-ball in my pocket. I'm not going to tell you this is definitely going to happen. But in 2022, they are already looking at, and they're basing this off of 19, by the way, as the medium. So they're saying about just under 60%. You'll start seeing it move towards where we were in 19. In 2023, climbing up again. This is really getting great news for us because they're just under 90%, but when the summer months hit, it's going to start growing back to normal. And then, of course, by 2024, look at that number. So we are actually going to see that growth in the event industry. So whether you're having a live event, a virtual event, or a combination of both with a hybrid, I'm going to talk to you about how you can do that successfully. The very first thing is always define your goals. You know, who is your audience? Who are you going to be talking to? Who are you presenting to? And of course, what are you trying to achieve? Is this something that could have been handled by an email or a memo? Or is this something that you really need to gather people together? Are you having a trade show, so you really need that interaction and let people go out and walk through products? Or are you just doing an internal announcement and maybe adding people to your team? So these are the kind of things that you really need to start thinking about. Now, who are your attendees? You know, are they people on every corner of the world where travel may come into it? Or are they just, you know, everyone in your office, and that's how you're getting together? And of course, what do you want to have the event, and what do you want to have it available afterwards? So I'll go into a little bit about extending reach and ROI so that you can talk about the virtual elements in that portion of it. So what are your goals going to be? How are you going to get that strategy? You know, where are you going to get all the ideas that make this a successful event, one that people will say to you, I'm glad that I actually attended this. Being a marketeer, always know who you're talking to. And when I say that, know your audience. You know, what really drives them? What resonates with them? What do they want to see out there? What content are they watching now? You know, is it The Walking Dead, everybody loves The Walking Dead. Can we dress up the CEO or have everybody do their best zombie makeup? Can we really have some fun with it? And what are some common concerns? We've had a number of panels and discussions. We had a great one in the breakout yesterday. And we really need to talk about what are common concerns? What do people in the office place think? What do they need to know? So again, let's talk about that. And of course, we also had conversations about technologies, robots, and things that we never thought that we would see in the hospitality industry are being integrated in there every day. QR codes and lots of fun and great new equipment. And of course, there's always engagement. How many of us have been sitting on those Zoom calls and just start typing an email? How are we going to make sure that people are actually captivated by the message being stated? And you don't want to leave anybody out. So let's throw around an idea here. So you've got a hybrid event where you've got half of your attendees either in the office or at home, and then you've got a room like this. Why couldn't you do some kind of virtual scavenger hunt where they actually had to pair up with someone at home to find the answers? So make sure that everybody on your team is involved and included. And this goes back again to knowing your audience. Okay, this is where I'm going to talk a little bit about making it worth it, extending your reach, and ensuring an ROI of your event. So there's always the great thing about having sponsorships and partnerships. And I think a lot of people have been a little reluctant to either sponsor or partner with a virtual event because they're like, how am I going to get any kind of benefit from this? And there are ways. You can do step and repeats. You could do merchandise. You can do a lot of stuff that will make sure that people really feel involved. And what about an offer? The first 5 people that visit our URL or the QR code or what have you, they get the keys to the car. So extending that reach, this is one of those things where if you have a hybrid or virtual event, you can actually record it, have it available later. You could have it for on-demand purposes. So there's something that you can do when you're making that huge investment. Let's go ahead and make sure that investment pays out in the long run. And I don't know how many people, you're on your Zoom calls and what have you. Did you ever look at the data? Did you ever, take a look at, who signed on, how long they were on? Did I lose them at a certain point? It's available, even with just a free Zoom account. And of course, being flexible. This goes back to, if you are in different locations, if you do have other things going on, if you have that flexibility through hybrid or virtual, it makes your attendees much more happy. And this also opens up the door for different locations and speakers throughout the world, right? So if you're doing a hybrid or virtual event and you've got a speaker that's like, hey, I can't travel, you could say, that's okay, we can record you, we can use a hybrid or a virtual event. So I'm gonna do a quick summary and then I'm gonna open it up for some notes. What's key? We've talked about it a little bit in the earlier conversation about internet and how people want it for free. But there's also that little element of internet being available at home. And when you're on a virtual or hybrid meeting, are your presenters breaking up? Is there a plan B in case their internet does go down, how they can still participate? Those things go back to working with professionals like AVMS, that you just basically say, okay, we're going to do a little rehearsal, we're going to make sure that everybody can get into the room, we're going to have a platform that everybody can use, and everything will be absolutely awesome. Audio. Okay, I was recently approached by a customer who wanted to do a call, virtual event / hybrid. They had 60 in the room, but they also wanted to reach their other international team members. So they said, can't I just take my laptop and put it in the middle of the room and have the camera pick up everybody and then also hear everybody? And I'm like, no, that is not an ideal situation. You would not really be able to hear them, let alone see everybody in a U-shape, 60 people spaced out 6 feet between each other. So we gave them the options of, doing push-to-talk microphones or handheld, and then also, of course, in a smaller meeting environment, the great thing that they have is the meeting owl, where you can put that at a board table, and the meeting owl actually follows the person speaking. So that makes a great, great little tool for you. Visual. I would have to say, you really have to make it a little bit fun for people. Something that they can watch, something that they can learn from. And if you need help with visuals, again, AVMS does have creative people that can help you with that kind of stuff. We're a visual being. We, for the most part, about 65% of us are visual learners. And when you think about that, that means everybody is, when they see something, they remember it, they retain it. So if you make it look nice, you have a better chance of people saying, okay, I got it, I know it, I'm definitely going to keep it. So a platform. We've seen lots of them throughout these 18 to 20 months. And when you think about it, a platform is a nice one-stop shop. So you can put, this is a sample of one I just did, and you can put the agenda in there. You can put the Zoom links in there, the bios, the company marketing materials, the actual event materials. And it works very nicely for people as far as being able to say, oh, I just went to that platform, everything was smooth, we're running it, we're making sure that the feed is all nice and clean, so it works great. And there's so many out there that you can choose from. Okay, Robbie's going to hate this because I always use this picture, and he's actually in the back of the room running the show back there. But professional assistants, don't be afraid to talk to the in-house audiovisual company, or even hire one if you're just doing these kind of things in your office. So if that happens, just say, hey, AVMS, I'm thinking about doing a virtual meeting. What do you recommend? This is the situation. So, and we will give you those recommendations. And then if you need our assistance, even better. What we did for a lot of our hotel partners is throughout the pandemic, a lot of people were saying, I'm tired of looking at Susan's closet. Is there any way that we can put her in a virtual studio type of a scenario? We said, absolutely. When do you want it? They said, well, can we just leave it up? We said, absolutely. How do you want it to look? We'll take that little corner room that you never use and just make it into a revenue stream for the property, for us. And it worked out really well because you can make it whatever they want. So if they wanted to change it to their company colors or have some kind of unique design, you can throw that all in there. I don't know if you noticed in the picture earlier, but MPI did that. And it turned out very, very, very nice for them. So that about wraps it up. I left 2 minutes for any questions, if anybody has anything, or there's my email address and my phone number. If you think of something later, I'm available.
Hi there. This is not a
the
question.
Man in the back.
Yeah. Hi. I think I know most of you, but I'm Barak Hershowitz, the president of Ilha, and this is not really a question, but I just wanted to say that I just want to tell you a little bit about how we came across AVMS, because they've been our AV partner for a number of years. We've been putting on this event. This is our 10th event, and the first few years we went with whoever the AV partner was that the hotel recommended. And every single year, the only problem we had at our event was AV related, and they were pretty heavy-duty problems. I don't want to go into them, but we had power, stuff tripping for 30 minutes. The person that was managing it was not the level. It was the only negative that we had was AV, and somebody introduced, I can't remember who it was a number of years ago, said you should try this company AVMS. We've tried something a little bit different, and we have never had any kind of AV issue ever since then. There's always minor stuff, but there's nothing that they haven't sorted out or fixed. They've gone to the venues ahead of time, and most of you are in the hotel business know you're not always there's an on-site company and you're bringing somebody from the outside. We've fought tooth and nail to make sure that they're our AV company in-house, and I feel like I should share that, because if anyone has an AV operator inside and they're just letting them do what they do, what was amazing was how and we had conferences in hotels, we had them in convention centers, everything was perfect, but the AV, until we met AVMS, and it really just changed our event, and I feel like a lot of people just let the company that they have do it without really knowing what's going on, and often they're dropping the ball on your clients. And so, like I said, if you're looking for another option, or maybe evaluate who you have, and then they've never let us down. I mean, they've literally gone out, checked venues. I also want to point out that they came up with a plan B during this event we planned 2 years ago, right? And when everything happened, they brought this virtual studio. Now, in the end, we didn't need it, right? Because everything opened up. But we were going to have this, they were going to build this amazing virtual studio for us so that we could shoot the whole thing. And that way we could do it virtually but have live speakers. So, sorry, not a question, but I felt like I had to share our experience with you. So thanks so much.
Gush away. I wish I could really take the credit for that, but it's the gentleman in the back of the room over there and the men and ladies of AVMS that really, really do make the difference out there. And I'm very proud to be a part of that team. So thank you.